the Lit Ladies Lounge. I'm Olivia Linden, along with my partner.
Author J.R. Mason.
And today we are going to talk about us.
Us.
We've had other guests on the show who are authors and we've talked about their books, but we've never really talked about ours. So, to give you a little bit more insight on who we are and what we write and our latest books out, that's what we're going to talk about today. So, let's get into it. JR.
Yes.
I have read your series, your Stolen Pieces series. And I have to say, even if I didn't know you, I would still love it. I love it. I love a thriller. I love a good thriller. And I love not knowing what's going to happen. And I promise you, both books, I was like, how do I still not know
Well, that's good.
what happened?
I put a lot of work into hoping that people would not know because it frustrates me when I'm reading a thriller and I have it solved by like the fourth or fifth chapter, and now I'm just reading to see if I was right.
So, with that being said, tell me, I know a little bit about the process, but could you talk about what it's like to write a thriller, what it's like to write murder, and be so accurate, but also not be a murderer in real life?
Are you sure about that last part? Are we sure about that last part? No, it takes a lot of thought because my primary goal is to write something where people weren't just out doing dumb stuff and getting unalived. Like I
Mm,
wanted it to be realistic and have people making sensible decisions and not just like, oh, I'm going to do this. And you know you're going to get unalived if you do this. You know what I mean? Come on,
right.
stop. So I ended up consulting with a lot of different people, professionals, the lieutenant, the an officer, a detective, um, a toxicologist, two medical doctors, trauma specialist, a therapist,
Mm.
even a barista, and a sanitation worker. For the second book, Stolen Pieces 2, actually had consultation with the cadaver dog people, so I would know like
Wow.
what are cadaver dogs doing in the event that if they smell something, if they smell too much of something, if they don't smell enough of something, like what are their behaviors, how do they behave. So I wanted the book to be as authentic as humanly possible, so much work went into writing it and making it believable and hard to figure out, hopefully for people, and harder to prosecute if the killer were to get caught, because
Mhm.
I met with a defense attorney too.
Excellent. Talk about details. And I mean, just reading it, you can really see that you thought this through because it really felt like I was watching CSI or, like I was watching the script to one of these episodes. There was nothing where I was like, made a mistake or, oh, I know, like literally I'm reading it and all the characters were intriguing in their own different ways. Like you could just really see the layer of character development as versus the diversity of the characters. I mean, you had a squad room of characters. You had family members, like you said, the barista, and everybody seemed authentic. Nobody seemed like a character that was just like an afterthought. Oh, let me throw in. It was really, really, really well thought out. I
Thank
have to say that.
you. Thank you. You should see my characters document. It's like a 15-page Word document of like character details, weird stuff too. Like they're things they're afraid of, like things, favorite colors, what they
Mhm,
do for fun, eye color, hair color. So, somebody didn't have brown eyes in chapter 1 and then blue eyes by chapter 36,
mhm, mhm.
stuff. So, yeah, a lot of work.
So, where did the actual idea for Stolen Pieces come from?
That one's hard because I can't.
You tell me you got to kill me.
Basically. Yeah, I was laying on the massage table and I told my massage therapist, I said, I want to write a book where blah. And I can't tell you because obviously that's the huge spoiler. And my
Right,
massage chick
right,
was
right.
like, oh, that would be dope. And then like we literally just started brainstorming right there in the massage. Like I'm supposed to be relaxing here, but that's not what was happening. We were literally brainstorming a book.
Mhm, mhm.
And so yeah, that idea just came to me. But yeah, I can't, that's something I can't even tell you without ruining the book.
So, did the idea for the story come to you all at one time, or as you were writing, were plot twists coming up or more, ideas? Did you change the original, idea as you went along, or was it
I
just like a seamless process? Like I thought about it and I wrote it.
That one.
Okay.
Yeah. I knew the ending. I just couldn't figure out how I was getting there.
Mhm.
Um, and then once I started writing, it like I woke up one day and I was like, that's it. And I just boom wrote the whole ending. And I was like, after I read it, I was like, oh my God, who wrote this? This is so disturbing. Because like it was so methodical and like
Right.
detailed and like every I was dotted, every T was crossed for the most part. And so it was just like, no one's ever going to date me if they read this because they're going to be like, this chick is crazy. Look,
Listen. Listen. So, was it always planned to be a two-book series, or did just by nature of the ending?
no, I never wanted to write again after this last first one. I was like, nope, I wrote a good book. I am done. And then everyone was having a fit and they were like, how could you leave us like this? And I'm like, y'all are so dramatic. Are you serious? I feel like I wrapped that shit up in a bow, and they were like, "You did wrap it up in a bow, and now it's a whole new present for us to unwrap. So can you give us the next book?" And I didn't want to, but I'm glad I did because this book is even better than the first one, I think. So, and it's so funny. I can't read this book without cracking up. Like, and that's disturbing because it's like I wrote a thriller. I thought I wrote a thriller, but
Yeah. Your sense of humor definitely came in. I trust me. Like I said, especially after knowing you, I'm cracking up because I'm like, "Oh, that's hysterical. That's funny."
right.
Um, but now with book 2, with no spoilers, I mean, in my opinion, I'm like, "Where's book 3? Where's book 3, ma'am? What are we gonna do? What's happening? Stolen Pieces 3."
Nothing. I'm done writing. I said it. I said I'm done. I gotta be done because I wrote 3 endings to this second one. 3 different endings. The first
Mhm.
one, I my massage chick heard it and she's like, I wasn't expecting that. And I was like, good. And she's like, well, your readers are probably gonna be pissed. And I'm like, no. And then
Mhm.
she's like, yeah. And then I was like, okay, yeah, she's probably right. So I wrote another one and she's like, oh my gosh. And before she even could say anything, all she was like, you got to write 3 right now. You got to start writing 3 because you can't publish 2 unless you start writing 3. And I'm like, where are you getting this? Why would you say these things? And she's like, well, you left this. And then she got toes out, started counting toes of all the things I left open enough for a Volkswagen to drive in. So I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, damn it. So then I was like, nope, scrap that. So now I had to go write a third ending to this book. So it would be like, all right, I closed up most of that stuff. I left a couple little things open and yeah, 3 endings.
Feel you. So, okay, you don't wanna write a book 3 to this story, but do you have other stories brewing? Anything else that you're gonna write about anytime soon?
I never want to write again.
Can't say that. That's not acceptable.
I know. I'm like the only author who keeps saying I'm done, I quit, and they won't let me quit, and it's just very
We won't let
frustrating.
you. We won't. Alright, so back to Stolen Pieces. Do you have a favorite character as far as writing the character?
I
Who
can't
was your most fun
tell
character to
you.
write?
Detective Martinez, I'll say that.
Mm, okay, okay.
And it's disturbing because she is a lot of me, a lot of
Mhm,
me. Anyone who knows me, that like from her not liking to cook to her not liking to do the dishes
right.
to her preference for Canada Dry Ginger Ale, her
Mhm,
height.
which is number 1, by the way.
What else? Like just the way she keeps her house, the color of her fish, like her
That
favorite television show.
yes.
Yeah. Except I don't drink coffee as much as she does. I don't like coffee.
Well, yeah, that I chalk that up to the aspect, the detective aspect of it.
Yeah. And, just we needed it for the storyline.
True. Another question I had, psychologically, what was it like to write this book? Like, did you feel yourself like, did you start questioning yourself like, "Oh my god, what am I doing?"
I was like, people are gonna think I am crazy. They're gonna think I'm crazy. I think I'm crazy. Yes. And I write, usually I dictate in the bed. I wake
Mhm,
up, I have my phone, and I just start, I have it outlined. I know what I want to discuss and I dictate into the phone. But then when I'm cleaning stuff up, I'm usually outside on the porch. And
right.
literally, I'm outside with my phone on the porch, right? Cars are driving by. It's a very heavily traveled street. And I'm sitting here, and there's this part where someone is in the bed with her, and they're like, brushing hair out of her face and stroking her, and she can't like move, And I'm like on the porch, and I'm trying to figure out how I want her to be touched, you know. And so I'm sitting here with the phone, and I'm touching, and like, and people are standing they're at the stop sign, and they're like,
Oh my god, like, what's
so
going on over there? Mind your business, people, first of all.
exactly, but it's like there's a busty woman touching herself on the porch. Like you can't like so this is what's happening outside and then like when I'm envisioning all these like love scenes and everything, it's like um yeah, so yeah, I'm like, how's her head being pulled back? Like, what is her neck doing when I'm yanking her head back? Like, how are we,
Mhm,
So like I'm doing all this stuff on the porch. Like that's where I live, on the
right.
porch.
Well, shout out to the voyeurs that were watching.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Um, yeah, I don't know. I applaud you because that is, I mean, that's a serious undertaking to write that type of story and to just be that detailed about it. And also funny and also, add a little smut in there too for the ladies.
Well,
So,
apparently, and the men, because there's an author that I'm friends with on Instagram, and he's like, yes. He's reading. He's like, I like this chapter. Like, good.
right. And that's another podcast too, because I would love to get the perspective of a man on what they think of how we write sex in these books.
Mm.
Mm. All right. Well, like I said, thank you. Bravo. Because, and I see you showing off your stolen pieces merch that you got on
Yes,
here.
that's so fetch. NA does all my apparel. She got me author J.R.
Okay, so
Mason
we can
down the
get that off
arm.
your website.
What'd you say?
We can get that on your website.
I mean, not really.
No. I'll
I
keep
mean,
it a
if
stolen
anyone wants
pieces
one,
of
people have asked for them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll order you one, and but yeah, I should put them. I guess I should put the merch up. I'm the worst.
I'm the same way, trust me. I'm watching people do bookmarks and stickers and all this stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, I guess I should be doing that, right?"
Yeah, I do bookmarks with mine, but I'm like a beast with mine. I threaten you straight up on the bookmark. It says, leave a damn review or they will find pieces of you.
Could you just do a PSA, like, once a week and just
I
put that out
know.
on social media? It's like,
Yes,
leave a review.
please. We need the reviews. They're very important, people. So, um, no, your books. I got my questions written down.
Ooh.
Because you gotta be responsible like that. So.
One of us gotta be responsible, girl, one of us.
Exactly. So it's so funny because you're writing about love and I'm writing about murder. So we are like
Mhm.
the same coin, two different sides,
Mhm.
because a lot of lovers murder each other. So my first question
That's right.
is, with your R&B series, it's Forever My Lady and Given a Chance. Given a
Mhm.
chance. Um, now, is there any way you can put me in the next book, and can I unalive someone? Like, even if it's just accidentally, right? Like, we're having the hot sex that you be writing about and stuff. And then he'd be like, how does that feel? You like that bitch? And I'd be like, who you calling a bitch? UNITY.
like you got another book in you. I feel like you said you're not writing anymore, but I just feel like that's an idea right there.
Okay, but now I want you to write it, and I just want to be in it, and I just want to unalive somebody
No, there's no
accidentally.
unaliving in the series.
But people unalive in R&B. No, I guess they don't.
Not really.
Okay, fine. So is that a no?
That's a no. Sorry.
Okay. Can you at least put me in the book so I can get some?
I could do that for you.
Yes.
I could
Look,
do
this is on recording.
that. So hold me to it.
I'm gonna hold you to all of that you just said. Okay. So what made you choose the theme of R&B for your series?
Well, most of my books that I write, I do a playlist. I usually do a playlist just to help me stay in a certain mood, whether it's the scene or just the book in general. And I'm R&B fan. Like I love all genres. I listen to everything, but I love R&B, specifically 90s R&B. And I was actually writing the second book in my urban fiction series. And I just couldn't like it just wasn't flowing for me. And I realized because I wanted to write more love. Like that book required more, almost like with, how your book that had more characters. It was about a way bigger there was a lot more going on than just his relationship. So I found myself the only scenes that I was accomplishing were the intimate scenes or the scenes between him and, whatever girl he was dating. And I said, I want to write a series that has no drama because all my books have a lot of drama. All my books are very angsty. There's a lot of tension. There's a lot of just a lot of stuff going on. And I just wanted a cute, sweet, lovey romance. I was like, can you do that? Can you write a book without a love triangle? Can you write a book where somebody's not breaking somebody's heart or somebody's not, with one person and, thinking about this other person? So that's how the R&B series came up.
And it was so depressing because all that sweet lovey-doveyness, and I'm just like, I want that, and I'm not getting it, and it's not fair.
I know. I'm not getting it. And I think that's what made it even easier because it was like, okay, what would you like? When you were this age, what kind of relationship would you have liked? How would you have liked your first love to have played out versus, reality? So that's also kind of what drove me. I had so much, like I have so much that I want to do and I'm not doing it. So I just put it all on paper.
Right? Same with my murder. Like, I just there's so much I want to do. Just gotta put it on paper. That's not
Yeah,
a good
after
though.
reading
That's
Confessions,
yours
I
is a
believe
better
you.
method. Write your romance down. Me not write my murder. So what was your actual writing process for these?
So I plotted out all 4 books. So I
Wait, there's
already
four
knew
books?
it's gonna be 4 books
What's
because
the
there's
fourth
4
one? Rhea.
Kiko.
Wait, she already
Poor
had a
girl.
book. She don't need another
No,
book.
she didn't have a book. Shell had a book, Nicole had a book, Joey gets a book, and then we find out Kiko's true story.
They was
She
at
got
Kiko's
married.
wedding. So in my mind, that was Kiko's book too. And so I should have a book next.
I mean, I have a character in mind for you, but we'll talk about that offline.
All right, as long as she
Or
gets some
maybe not,
sex.
'cause it'll be a surprise for you.
No, I don't like surprises. Okay, go ahead. Finish your writing process. You plotted out all four books.
So yeah, I plotted out all 4 books. I pretty much knew, you know, I knew who was gonna wind up with who, and I knew pretty much their backstories. So all I had to do was just fill in the blanks. And I always start each book with the chapters listed. This is gonna happen in this chapter. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. Usually changes. It never stays the same. So like with book one, I had it going a different way. And once I got to, I believe, the chapter where the two main characters saw each other again after a few years, everything just went out the window. Like once they saw each other, just everything changed and like the whole vibe of the book actually changed. It wasn't even the same vibe that I had initially plotted. So
Hmm.
that was interesting. And so yeah, that's really my process. I just write it and then after I write each scene, I go back and read it. And then I read the whole book from the beginning just to see how it's flowing, to see if that whatever feeling I'm trying to put in is in it.
After
And then
every
I go
chapter, you start over. No, I ain't got
yeah.
that kind of time. That's crazy.
Yeah, I started because I just want to make sure. Like sometimes I wonder, especially with the guys, I'm like, I don't want to write these empty men. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that even though the focus is usually the girl and it's, her story, he's a big part of the story. So I need to make sure that I'm giving him enough personality that it's going to make sense that the first guy is not going to be the same as the second and the third, because they're all also friends and they're all are also going to show up in the rest of the book. So they have to each have their distinct personality.
And they did.
So, yeah.
Do
Thank
you
you.
plot out your characters?
I do. Age, physical stuff. What especially with this book, what do they go to school for? What are they graduating to do? If they have parents, what are the relationships like with their parents? Do they have sisters? I just realized though, I didn't really give any of them siblings. Like they're all only children.
I didn't even notice actually. So,
I was like, well, one of them doesn't, but you don't really hear anything about their family members. But for the most part, I was like, there's so many friends already. I just couldn't. There just wasn't any room for siblings and parents that had too much of an involvement. So
right.
you know, but yeah, I give them their own little markup.
Okay. So how long did it take you to write each of these two books?
Book one, I wrote that book in like 2 weeks. I'm telling you, I wanted to write romance so bad. As soon as I put that
Oh
urban
my
fic
gosh.
down, yeah, 2 weeks. I was like, boom, wrote it. Um, then I let it sit there for a little bit because as I was writing book one, the characters in book two were like, okay, we got the story. Oh, we know what we want to do. It was like, oh, I already know what I want him to do, how I want him to pursue her. So it was like, I just couldn't wait to start writing book two. But it took me much longer to write book two. I think that took about 2 months.
I was gonna say, bitch, if you say 3 weeks, I will hang this computer up right now. I will hang up on you on this computer. That's not even a thing. Watch me work. Okay.
No, 2.5 months, something like that.
Okay. Now, did you tailor any of the characters after any of your friends?
No, no,
None?
none. It's to me. I've thought about it. It's just too hard. It's too hard. It's so much easier for me to just make a bunch of shit up.
Wait,
I
why is it
mean,
too hard? Because you have all the information like with your friends.
yeah, but you have to be careful because you don't want anybody to feel like you're writing about them in a like I might perceive you to be a certain way, and then as I write that, you're like, that's supposed to be me. That's not me. I don't act like that.
Well,
But
I
that's
meant
what
like
it is.
physically character,
Yeah, no, no.
no, just
These are
okay.
all yeah, I just create a whole new world with, you know, my new little people. These are my people.
And so none of them are you? Or
No, the
like
most you're gonna get is like my sense of humor. The
so like
jokes.
none of them have any of your like preferences, like your favorite anything, just
If I have to say in this series, I should say, I think they're all if you think about it, they're all different parts of me. Like that's my like sense of humor and my like sarcasm.
that makes sense.
Nicole, I could be Nicole sometimes. That's not my main personality, but depending on what I'm
Thank
dealing with.
God.
But she's not like you'll see, she's not really like that. That was just a product of what she was going through with her relationship. And she
Yeah, but wasn't
didn't
she the nosy one who was always in everybody's business?
right because but that's what people do when they don't have any control over what's going on at home. They come outside and harass everybody else
That's true.
because
I didn't even think
they
about
don't
it
want
like that.
can't control trade. So she's gonna come out here and find out what Shell's doing, what so and so's doing. And then the fact that she knows that she wasn't really like, she wasn't telling everybody that was going on. So it's almost like when somebody's paranoid that people are doing what they're doing. So it's like, oh, I'm being left out of the loop because yeah, girl, you leave people out of the loop. So and then Kiko, just the way she talks to her, like, come on, girl, tell me, give me a break, get over it. Like that's how I kind of am. Like my closest friends, I'm not babying you. Come on, like I won't beat you up, but at the same time, you get a certain amount of coddling, and then I'm like, get up,
Okay, I'm done.
come on. And then Joey, that's just my like outgoing, do what I want, talk to who I want to, go through my periods where no, I don't want a boyfriend. I'm just gonna date. I'm just gonna, whatever. So, in that aspect, yeah, they're all me in different ways, but none of them, like, not my physical type was there, everything else was just made up.
Even the with the men, none of those are your type?
Not
Are you
really. I mean,
serious?
Jay might be my type.
I was
I
about to
feel like
say Jay is like,
But Jay is me though. That's how I feel. Like Jay is just like the male me. Like if I was a man and I was, into a girl, whatever, I think I'm most like that. That's how I would be.
yeah, honestly, yeah, that makes sense. Same, same. Because I'm like the thoughtful,
Mhm.
giving, wanna,
Mhm.
make you feel wanted and all that good stuff.
Right.
So
Very
basically,
intuitive.
we
Yeah.
need to just date each other is what I heard.
We've already discussed this.
I know I'm supposed to be sending you flowers, but the way my checking account is set up, look.
Right? And I'm like, Jay, I'm like, oh, I know, I know your intentions. I know how you really feel, baby. It's okay.
Okay, girl. You know. So how did you choose your names for your did you do anything special or you just was like out of thin air, we just pulling shit out?
They're all R&B songs. They're all R&B songs from the 90s, early 2000s.
Michelle A? No.
No.
Michelle A?
Oh, the names for the characters.
Yes.
Sorry. No, all made up.
Oh, I
Random.
was like, okay, now wait, hold up.
I thought
Jay,
she was the name of the
Jodeci,
book.
Jay-Z. I'm like, no, Jay-Z's not R&B. Like, I'm literally sitting here trying to think with these Nicole. Who's Nicole?
No, I don't know where the names come from. I don't know. Sometimes it scares me because I'm like, am I really like hearing voices? Like, where are these things coming from? I don't know.
Seriously? You just be like,
I just make them up.
see, I used all of my friends' names in my books. Like, and everyone who pissed me off, those are the people who I unalived.
Right?
Bosses, supervisors, all that stuff. If you piss me off, you're getting unalived
Same.
violently if possible. Friends, exes, all that.
Right.
You need to switch to murder books. It's way more fun picking
I see
names.
that. I've thought about it. My yeah, and a serial killer too. But we'll see if I finish
Mm.
that one.
Well, then let me kill them. Let me do it. Put me
Well,
in
that's
that
the
one.
fun part.
Huh?
That's the fun part. You're gonna take all my fun?
No, I mean, I want to be the person that does.
Oh, you wanna be the
Yes.
okay. We could do that. We could do that.
Yeah. Warm in my heart. See, I like it.
You're so silly.
I know I got problems. I need therapists. When's that mental health therapy the podcast happening? 'Cause
Right?
we
Oh
need to
my
get that
god.
therapist on your stat. Oh
Serious.
my god. So of your two books of this so far that are in the series,
Mhm.
I know which one is my favorite, but
Mhm.
which one is your favorite?
Every time I think I know the answer to it, it switches.
Really?
Um, yeah, because I just wrote Given a Chance, and I will say no matter which one is my favorite, I don't know if it's just Jay or Jay and Nicole, but something about writing those two, I'm in a slump right now. I'm in a writing slump because I'm like, damn, I gotta not, I'm not writing that anymore. I have to move on to something else. And the feeling and the vibe that I got writing those two is just like, oh, I love it.
It's still
I love
there.
it. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, but you got to move on because I hate romance. Ugh, but I'm waiting for this third book because I like yours because they were so realistic. Like they were so realistic. Like, and that's why I hate it so much. That sounds so bad, but
It's
I
like,
feel
why
like
isn't this
it's
really
not.
happening?
What did you say?
Why isn't this really happening?
Right. So I know it's not an insult or anything like to
No, I
you
know.
because it's really well written but it's just so realistic that it had me in my feelings. I was crying in the first book like what the fuck is happening here? Like I don't like these. I don't need these emotions. Can I just find a real man like one of these that's going to just romance and love me and respect somebody who just respect me.
The respect.
Yes, and just talk to me like I'm a human and like not
Mhm.
just a hole for your dick. And that would just make me so happy.
Yes.
And so reading your romance was so depressing because it was just like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So you're not answering my question about which one's your favorite.
Uh,
I think the second one's your favorite because if you're
I
in
was about
that
to
much of
say,
a
give me a
slump, it
chance.
has to be.
Given a Chance is my favorite. I
Yes.
love Forever My Lady, don't get me wrong, but Given a Chance is like my heartbeat right now.
Yes, I will agree. That one of the two was my favorite.
Mhm.
I enjoyed very much their their relationship. She got on my last nerve though. I ain't gonna front. Like I was ready to snatch her. I'm like, if you don't date this man, I will throw my snack box all up in his
Right?
lunch bag. Okay, here.
Right. Move over.
Right? Like,
You don't
boo.
know what to do. Move over, clearly.
Thank
It
you, because
was
I will. He could get it, all of it, all of it. Like
oh my gosh. It
so.
was so hard to like because I wanted to kind of drag it out. I wanted to build that tension. And there were so many times like prior to that, like so many scenes where I was gonna make it happen that I'm like, it could just happen right now. Like do it now. And I'm like, no, not now. And I'm like, for sure, there's no way she's gonna get out of this scene without it happening. And I'm like, oh, okay, I could. All right, we'll make her wait a little bit longer. So
And that was pissing me off too, because I was like, it was like there's so much tension. There was so much sexual tension between them, the push and the pull of it all. And I'm just like, can you just give it to him? What the hell? What's wrong with you, woman?
yeah, she was scared, and she
Fuck
was
that, man.
almost
I'm
insane.
zipping my clothes trying to give it to him through the book. Like, I'm like rubbing the book on my like, come on, take it. Take this titty. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, no,
And
you don't
then
even know.
once they
Fighting
did
it?
start having sex, it was like it just like
Yeah.
didn't stop. And I'm like, so what kind of mind do you have to just have this much, like write this much sex? Like, are you pulling from experience or are you just pulling from what you want to happen in actual life?
I'm pulling from what I want to happen. I mean, like I'm a very sexual person. I'm just always, I don't know, like whether I'm having sex or not, sex in me is just like if you said I need you to write 20 sex scenes, I would just sit here and write 20 sex scenes differently, different positions, different emotions and feelings. I love sex. So that's like the easiest part. Like if I write a book, I could probably just write all the sex scenes, get them out the way, and then build a story around it. But those two, I don't know. I really get into the characters. Like I really got into the mind of what would it be like for this guy who could get any girl that he wanted to, but he's wanted this girl for like damn near 10 years and he's finally gonna get her. Is what's he gonna do? Is he gonna take his time or is he gonna like fumble his way and end way too quickly? And then for her, it's like not only is it your friend, but this is really the second person she's only ever been with her husband.
Yeah.
So for her, it was just like, oh, this is wow, this is different.
Yeah.
Hmm. And
Man.
I'm frightened now because if by chance, me thinking that this guy's a player and he does this and then he doesn't do it again, I'm probably gonna it'll turn into stolen pieces out here.
Hey, I'll help her with her
All
alibi. Come
right.
on now. We will unalive him. They will never find the body. I got you, girl.
My next book would have been Where is Jay? What happened to Jay?
I mean, but look, I'm gonna break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar before we unalive him. Okay. Look, I'm just saying we gonna get it in first and then we can unalive him because I have
Little dog
needs.
romance. Hmm.
Well, your books are what on Kindle Unlimited currently?
Forever My Lady is in Kindle Unlimited. Given a Chance isn't. It's it's on Kindle, but it's not in the KU program. I may switch it. I may change it. I don't know. You
Okay.
know, we'll
Well,
see. But yeah, that was it. And it's to date, these are my two favorite books that I've written as far as the fun of writing it. My first book, I still am in love with that story, but that book took me 5 years to write. So these books, yeah, I'm like
pumping them out, pumping them
pumping them
out.
out. So I'm like, maybe this is my niche. All this time I've been sitting here, you know, romantic suspense, all this. And it's like, no, girl, just write a little bit of love. That's all you want.
Oh, that's all we all want. Well, if you need
Oh,
love, you know where to find Olivia Linden's books. There'll be
mhm.
links here. And if you want murder after the love, come find me. Unless I find you first.
Oh,
Thank you for joining us in the Lit Ladies Lounge, and we look forward to getting with you again soon.
bye.